postgraduate students, all right? So just check yourself and realign back, I might say, okay? Why do you want to continue your master's and PhD? Okay, so it goes back to your objective or your why do you want to pursue this study? Okay, and then who motivates you? What motivates you? And what is your inspiration? And what are you going to do after you got your PhD and you got your master's scroll? What is your aspiration after that? And what are you going to do with your degree? Okay, so just ask yourself, because especially during this pandemic, you need a very high motivation, especially when duduk kat rumah kan, when you stay at home. You tend to be like away from your friends, away from your supervisors, those kind of things. You need some how do you say, set a target. Okay, what do you want to achieve? So and also not to forget about your investment. Investment here, I'm not talking about financial investment, but I'm talking about more towards your knowledge investment. So once you get your research done, what is the benefit that you give to people? What is the benefit that you contribute to your apa? To the people that has the same related research with you. Okay, so that is what does it mean by investment here. Right. So I think you are quite familiar with these search engines. Can I get a simple survey from everyone? Can you scan the QR code there? Or you just type the link here? Boleh ke? Can I get feedback from you? I just want to know what is your favorite search engine? Dah jawab ke? Okay. Did I get, okay, I get about 21 responses here. Okay, and I can see that most of you are using Scopus. Okay, that's good. You are using Scopus, and second highest user are using Google Scholar. Okay, and the least user is on Web of Science. Okay, so I get some idea here. Okay, and all right, so why I ask you on this? Okay, because just now I heard about Dr. Noor, right, talking about writing a review paper. So actually, when you write a proposal, it's good that you have a long-term target that you want to write. You want also to write a review paper from out of it. I mean, out of the exercise that you did for your proposal writing. Okay, because when you write proposal writing, you have to read, you have to check what is the current status, current literature, current research, and so on. Okay, so basically these are three platforms that is widely used. Okay, and so based on the survey just now, most of you are using Scopus. That's good. Okay, and you should familiar, right? Okay, when we talk about Scopus and Web of Science, we are talking about index journal. Okay, so basically, if you use a search engine using these two platforms, you are actually searching or looking for paper which is indexed by these two index body. All right. Okay, so let's look at the index pyramid. Okay, you have to understand why you should use a good search engine. All right. So if you use Google Scholar, you can see that if we arrange in terms of pyramid, the source of the papers that you read, or it is basically based on general sources. So everything is there. It covers the index and non-index journal and articles as well. Okay. And if you go up further from the pyramid, you can see that you would try to specialize in certain subjects or regions. Okay. So like Malaysia, we have my site. Okay. So that would be another apa search engine as well, right? Okay. Sorry. Okay, and then if you go to Scopus, you go up further to the pyramid, you see the Scopus here. Okay, so Scopus is still a good emerging sources or citation index. Okay, but it has a looser criteria as compared to Web of Science. Okay, Web of Science is very selective. Okay, I might say that maybe a 80% of the papers which you can find using Scopus, you can also find in in Web of Science. Okay, so meaning that another 20% might not be indexed by Web of Science. So you can see that this shows that the coverage, where if you use a Google Scholar, you get a coverage or lots of paper. So if you type one keyword or two keywords, for instance, you get more publications can be found using Google Scholar because it search the index and non-index paper. But in terms of quality, as I said, as the previous speaker said, that you should go and write a review paper, or not a review paper, even article paper, you should go for a high quality references. Okay, so the best way of choosing your references, I might say Scopus. Okay, but you still can use this Web of Science, where 20% of the articles might not be listed here. Okay, and so that is the differences between the Google search or Google Scholar search and other platforms. Okay, so but no harm, you still can use Google Scholar. Okay, just but sometimes you quite difficult to find new areas of paper, and sometimes you can find from Google Scholar. Okay. All right. So this is what I mentioned just now, where if you look at these two, what do you call, overlap of this circle, where you can see that here is the, if you use Web of Science, then you can find 2/3 of the papers are documented or indexed by Scopus and Web of Science, and 1/3 of it normally is not indexed by Web of Science. So, but it's indexed by Scopus. All right. So that is the what do we call as the Scopus versus Web of Science search engine. Okay. And this is where you can compare in details where between Scopus and Web of Science. Okay, so date range of publications you can find from 1970s in Web of Science, but for Scopus it cover quite a broad range from 1960. Okay, number of document you can find a bit less in Web of Science compared to Scopus. So the sharing documents is 2/3 and separate document is 1/3. Okay. And Web of Science is focused more to the area of the relevant research. Okay. And it also provide a good or high quality index paper or references. Okay. So normally, I normally advise my students what is the even from their undergraduate studies, I give a briefing with them and how to use this search engine, because they always use Mr. Google. Everything is Mr. Google. But I try to, when they go do for research project, I try to upgrade their knowledge a little bit on how they can use Scopus to get a good papers to read. Okay, and not only the keywords are important, you also need to consider your keywords metering. Okay, keywords metering here meaning that if you write one keyword, for instance, or two keywords, let's say you get 10,000 publications or 10,000 papers, that is very difficult for you to read, right? Because 10,000, it takes you how many years to finish, right? But so what is the best way is you choose another keywords to filter that 10,000 publications or 10,000 articles that you found just now. Okay, so by choosing another keywords, then if you filter or you search in those search engines, then it should reduce the number of publications that should be searched by the engine. Okay, so that helps you a lot. Okay, because you don't want to read too many things, or you will have overloaded informations, but you want to be more focused on the uh, apa nak cakap, you punya problem statements and the items that you really want to find about. Okay, so that's why I said keywords metering here is very important. So you check the numbers of publication. Okay, try to narrow it down if you have many publications. But if you scrutinize, if you get very less, let's say you choose a keyword like I don't know, neuroscience, for instance, and then you combine with words nanomaterials, so you find a very less publications. Then you should remove some of it, and then you add more keywords and see how you can get increase the number of search, and then select and read the relevant papers. Okay, so that is how you want to find the paper before you read. Okay, so go for quality paper and go for right keywords so that you get just a nice number for you to read for your proposals, for your review paper as well. Okay. Okay, so any questions so far on that one, or we want to discuss afterwards before I go to the next section for writing ethics?
I think we can have a Q&A session after your presentation ends later.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Okay, so okay, let's move to writing ethics. So basically, tadi I dengar juga the first speaker said that when you write, you should think critically. That's correct. Why this is important? Because you have to produce your own proposal, and you need to have a genuine proposal writing, and it has to be a scholar values of proposal. Okay, so when you do this, you have to be very careful because we have to avoid the plagiarism. Okay, this one is a policy where normally we talk that or we mention that plagiarism is a crime. Okay, so who did plagiarism? You did a crime. So who did plagiarism? You are a sinful person. So this kind of things you should put it. You should apa? Indulge in yourself. Okay. Okay. So if you do any references, you do citations, or you take some quotations from any references. So make sure that you rephrase sentences. Okay, rephrase again. Rephrase by using your own words. Okay, the simplest is better. Okay, and then do not copy and paste any content from the existing resources. Okay, because at the end nanti once you want to submit your proposal, you have to do the plagiarism checking, right? You have to do for the turn-in checking, and it will check your similarity index, for instance. Okay, and again you ask yourself, okay, because sometimes your supervisor, he or she is very busy. He or she does not have time to really check. Is this really your work, or you take from internet, or you download from somewhere else? Okay, because nowadays there are so many entity out there that you can pay them and they do the work for you. Okay, So we found some website that do the assignment for the students, but just for a precaution, as a supervisors, I should be alert with this one, because there might be a tendency that the students also use the service. Okay, uh, I'm not saying or I'm not blaming anyone, but in this case, you have to be very integrity lah. Okay, very honest to make sure that you have a good quality and sound proposal. So, is it continuation from your undergraduate research project? If yes, or let's say if you are students from other university, not from UITM, you are from UKM, from USM, but you want to do masters here, so make sure if you are doing a continuation project, ask your former supervisor during undergraduate. Okay, this is because this is a courtesy that you work together, and we don't want to see that there is a, how do we say, that the supervisor from your former university is not happy with what you publish, because he said, oh, this is my data when you were undergraduate with me, and you publish with your supervisors that you do masters or PhD with them. Okay, so it's so unfair. Okay, they should get some credits, and you should inform them. Okay, so and also inform the supervisor, your current supervisor, that this data was taken from your previous project. Okay, that is ethics. Okay, uh it happens, yeah, it happens a lot. I faced this issue when I was deputy dean for chemical engineering for the last 2 years. Okay, and is it your friend's work? Okay, so let's say masa you undergrad buat project sama-sama, tiba-tiba nampak you see that your friend did, wow, his project is nice, so or her project is very promising, so I think I want to do master from here. So just be careful. You can do that, but not to take all, not to take the data that your friends already produce. Okay, and if it happens to be that you want to continue with the same supervisors, then the supervisor should aware lah, this is the topic that was conducted by your friend, so now you want to continue. Okay, so that supervisors should aware and should alert that the topic is from the same group. Okay, but if it's from different group, uh, just be genuine as you can. Okay, not to duplicate any of the data that your friends already produced. Okay, this one is also happened. Okay, in UITM. So is it continuation from other students, or from the seniors, or from the juniors? So if this one is from the same group, then your supervisor should know and should advise you, okay, what is your contribution and what is your scope of study. Okay, you cannot do the same thing unless you at certain stage that you need to duplicate, that might be reasonable, but not to duplicate all kind of results. Okay, and is it continuation of your supervisor research? Okay, some of your supervisors just graduated after PhD, so he has some apa nak cakap, idea to continue research, to continue. So he or she give you his thesis or her thesis, and you have no idea, and you just take or just pick up the content of his or her thesis. So that is not good, okay? Because when we do research, we should think of critically, okay? When you have a source of reference that you can refer to, let's say like a thesis, that is already like an answer of scheme kalau you jawab soalan, right? But if you do research, if you have those kind of things, try to work out of the scope that from the thesis that you read. Okay, so that's why if you have those kind of references, um, just make sure that you check yourself. Okay, check meaning that uh, did you, what is the improvement or what is the addition that you can add from that, you can use as a basis, but not to follow exactly what in the thesis to your proposal. Okay, that is not good. That's why I said uh, the third slide or the first few slides just now, check yourself. Okay, right? And is the research proposal for grant application? Okay, sometimes supervisor prepare for research proposal. So when they got the fund or the grant from the body, they just maybe they lend you the proposal that they submitted, and you read it and you also formulate it based on that. It's okay if you want to understand what is the objectives of the research, but you should write your own how do you say, your own way of proposal. Okay, not to take 100% from the proposal which is already prepared for the projects, because sometimes the project is big. Okay, so instead of 4 objectives, you only do 2 objectives, for instance. Okay, so you have to be very resourceful lah in that case. Okay. All right. And then we move to the last part, which is references and file management. Okay. Actually, the talk will cover on references management, kan? But I would love to share that not only you need to manage your references, but you also need to manage your files. Okay, files meaning that your first draft, your second draft, your paper draft, your thesis draft, and so on. Okay, so I just want to because I'm not familiar with EndNote, and I'm very comfortable with Mendeley, and that's why I'm going to discuss these references and files management from the perspective of Mendeley software. Right, so I hope that you also familiar with this Mendeley software. Okay, and if you are Mendeley user, okay, you can create an account. Okay, you can go to Mendeley website, you create an account and you download the software and install in your laptop or your computers, and it helps you a lot. I might share some web browsing afterwards. Okay, but just to highlight here that we have several types of Mendeley, like Mendeley Desktop, Mendeley Reference Manager. So Mendeley Desktop is where you keep all your references. You create a folder which is on the cloud punya platform lah. Okay, you create a folder in the cloud, dia macam Google Drive, tapi this is Mendeley, which all the references is keep there. And when you want to write in your Microsoft Word, it's easier if you do citations and you don't have to write again the details of bibliography and so on. Okay. And then if you use Mendeley Reference Manager, this is also good. I'm trying to use this one. I'm moving towards this reference manager because you can also share with your supervisors, you can share with your co-authors from, sometimes you have supervisor from overseas, from other universities. So you can use this Mendeley Reference Manager to share whatever reading materials that you already save and download. Okay. And the Mendeley plug into Microsoft Word, this is where you really need, really need it. Okay, because when you write your proposal uh, or your research paper or your thesis, this is the headache that you will face. Okay, and even until you viva pun benda ni ada yang ada tersilap-silap kan. Citation you will nak cite A, you cite B, cite C, and so on. Okay, but so far when I use Mendeley, I can minimize that one. Okay, I can minimize the mistakes of mistakenly cited references. And I like to use OneDrive with my students. So I always say that if you have data, save immediately to your cloud. Okay, if you have data, save immediately to your Google Drive. So you can use OneDrive or Google Drive to save the files, your draft, including your data. Okay, like if you register Microsoft 365 using your ICSWA account, I think you get a certain terabytes of OneDrive. Okay, like in my case, our UITM staff we got 5 tera for this OneDrive. So that's why I always use OneDrive uh, with my students, and even I use it for a few years, 2 years or 3 years. Still 1 tera tak habis lagi. So just imagine 5 tera to how big it is. Google Drive, I'm not sure if the one that we use is how big, but if you subscribe or you have Google Drive account, the biggest storage they give you, I think it's about 15 gigabyte, I think. So after 2 years, I think it gets full easily. Okay, so you have to do such as data keeping and so on. Okay, so that would be a good option as well. All right, Google Drive. And now because it's pandemic, and all meetings are not face to face. So that's why I opt for Microsoft Teams with my students, and all the data, all the files and the meetings are saved there, and including a reminder, so they alert that by today they should complete this task and this task and so on. So those kinds of I might say the references and files management that would be helpful for you and your supervisor to use it um, along your study, during your study. Okay, so okay, so that's all for my presentation, but actually I would like to share with you on the Mendeley browsing. Did everyone knows how to use Mendeley, or we can skip this session ke macam mana? I'm not sure how good is your knowledge on Mendeley, or I just answer question and answer based on that.
It's up to you and it's up to the participants. Do you need Dr. Fitrah to share?
Please do show.
Okay.
Please what?
Please show how to use
Please
Mendeley.
show. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, I'm not really familiar with WebEx. It takes some time for me to share my window. Maybe I share my screen would be better. Okay, can you see can you see Mendeley now on your screen?
Yes, Doctor.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Do I start? Yeah. Okay. Actually, okay. This is when you install. There are a few types of Mendeley. You can go or browsing to the website. Okay, so if you go to the website like here, yeah, you just type Mendeley and you go to the website here. So actually you can get a lot of references like video or tutorials and so on. So if you want to download, you can see something like this. So but this one is Mendeley Reference Manager. Okay, so if you want to download the Mendeley desktop, you should go to, I think, the web page here. Oh, still it goes here. Kenapa I dapat? Yes, sorry. I used to browser just now. So for Mendeley, if you type mendeley.com, you will see this type of Mendeley that how do you say, plug in or add on features. Okay. So you boleh download the Mendeley Reference Manager, Mendeley Desktop, and if you want to link with your Microsoft Word, then you download the Mendeley site. Okay, and also you can use this web importer. Okay, all right. So these 4 types all are free. Yeah? Free. You once you have account, you can download it easily. Okay, so I show a basic one, which when I first time use Mendeley, I just use a Mendeley desktop. So I just download this Mendeley desktop as well as Mendeley site, okay, where you can add into your Microsoft Word. So when you install the software or the Mendeley desktop, this is what you can see. You can actually create your own folder. So the easiest way, because kita dah biasa save files according to a folder kan. So get yourself comfortable first. So that's why I said you can create your own references, because sometimes when you do your masters, you write 2 papers or 3 papers. So maybe if you plan to write or you plan to write 1 paper based on your first objectives, you create 1 folder for it normally. Okay, that is what I did with my students, and when I do my own literature search as well. Okay, so when you create what do you say, folder, okay, so let's say like this. Okay, so let's say you download the paper. So after you read the paper, this is a conventional way. Actually, you ada shortcut lagi. So once you download a paper, then you want to save inside the folder, you just write this one, add files. So you can add files into this folder. So you dah open this folder, and then you add files. Then the files would be saved on the folder that you have. Okay, and remember that you create your account through online. Okay, your Mendeley account is online. So actually, once you create your account, you have your own Mendeley references. Okay, like this. Okay, so actually, whatever that you save in your Mendeley desktop just now, it will sync together with what you have in your reference manager. So you can see here, this is Mendeley Reference Manager. So actually, this is a cloud for all papers that you read. Okay. So you can see the same folder that you create in your desktop, which is already synced with the one that you have in the Reference Manager. Okay. That is the basic lah. Okay. For how to use this Mendeley desktop, right? And one good thing if you use Reference Manager is that bila you baca, you suka highlight kan? Okay, I don't know, but I like to highlight the keywords or the important paragraph that I want to refer. So you can do that. Okay, so if you go, for instance, if you go to a library like this, okay, so you click the papers, okay, and it will open the papers. It takes a while, I think. So what is good is that you can put your sticker here. Okay, so let's say you want to say that what is the finding of this paper. So it's about okay, you want to highlight that sorry, you want to mention here that the paper consists of sorry, dia lambat lah pula sebab online kot. Kalau you buat dekat komputer without presentation ni, I rasa should be faster. Okay, so let's say you want to put some notes there on the paper. So let's say here, I letak, okay, this paper is about conductivity of screen printer carbon electrode. So once I write this one, then you can see that when you check the annotations, you can find the important points inside the paper. Okay, if you want to highlight, boleh lah you highlight. Dia akan keluar lah. Dia akan keluar macam ni. Alright. So not only on the comments, so you can easily pick up the important points. Sebab when you read lots of paper, you tend to forget which paper I baca tadi, which paper yang cakap the high conductivity, which paper yang kata this is about GO and RGO and so on. Okay, so that's why it's important that if you, it's good that if you use Mendeley and make yourself practice and comfortable to use the features that they already provide. Okay, so once you open the paper, okay, this is the paper is talk about some this and so on. Okay, and in fact, you can write your own notebook. Okay, siapa biasa guna Microsoft OneNotes, this is almost like the one that Microsoft OneNotes have. So you can create a page and you can write whatever you like, you want to comment, you want to whatever lah. Okay, you want to express about the papers or you want to summarize what is the content of the papers, you can write here. So just click new page and then you can write maybe title of the papers. Okay, and then you can write the summary or what did you understand from here, what is your critical points that you want to critiques on this paper or the findings by the researcher. So you can do that here. So this is like your self note, but later on you can refer as source of reference. Okay, so this is where I told you that you can share with other people. Okay, so I have a few co-researchers working with my even at proposal preparation, we do share the materials for references or references for proposal preparation. So dekat sini you boleh add lah. You can add who is your members for each of the folders. So you can do that in these private groups. Okay, tapi I tak ingat lah pula ke mana I tambah. So you can invite. I think once you create the folder, you can invite someone. This one is authors. Okay, sorry. I lupa nak semak ni. But actually you can invite your co-researchers to view whatever that you already save in your Mendeley here. And they also can contribute whatever they read over here. And if so tak perlulah you share banyak-banyak files kan. So you just mention that you can found from this folder, tajuk apa, and then in fact you can share the link to that folder, right? Agak slow lah Dr. Putri kalau saya share. So I just highlight what is important ya.
Okay, no problem. Memang kadang-kadang dia show lepas tu dia present, dia akan ada lagging dekat dia punya video and yang sampai nak nak share tu.
Yes. So I show yang basic.
Alright, okay, no problem.
Okay, so when you want to write your proposal or you want to write your papers or your review papers, so let's say you start with the sentence, okay, the study indicates high productivity. Okay, so you want to cite. So this is what I mean by plug-in of Mendeley inside your apa tu? Microsoft Word. Okay. Okay, so if you already add in the function or plug in the Mendeley site, so you can see this one under this reference tab. Okay, so it's very easy because Mendeley is already saved the titles, the volumes, whatever that you even with you tick. Kalau you guna web importer, even if you tick the reference, they terus save all the data about the papers inside the Mendeley. So let's say you dah baca, you nak cite the paper. So it's very easy. You just click insert citation. Okay, and then you go to Mendeley. So they will go to desktop just now. So you, let's say you pick this paper or maybe this paper, then you cite. You click this button, cite. So takes time. Lambat pula dia keluar. Okay, so sepatutnya dia akan keluar ikut format lah. Sebab sekarang I choose the style as IEEE. So IEEE is using a numbering like this. Okay, so you can see that once I click cite, so you can see that it refers to the citation number 1, and I click insert bibliography. So that bibliography or the references style would follow this IEEE. So I think UITM is using APA style kan for thesis. Okay, so when you want to write papers, when you want to submit your papers, you can change this one according to the style which is available here. So like APA, yes, we have this APA 6th edition format. Okay, so you can use this one. You can use even you can create your own styling as well. Okay, so I might say Mendeley ni memang super speeding your writing. So because I as supervisor as well, I really need this kind of features because sometimes student tak sempat publish once they graduate. So the burden goes to supervisor to publish the papers. Okay, sebab student dia dah graduate, dia tak nak fikir dan nak menulis ke apa kan. Dia nak cari kerja lah, whatever kan. So that's why I found that Mendeley is a very useful tool for me to speeding up my writing. Okay, and you should appreciate lah because zaman I buat PhD tak ada Mendeley. So the hard and the pain is dulu I guna EndNote tak silap, tapi EndNote dia macam I tak berapa suka, dia macam uh, I'm not sure, dia macam ada error jugalah bila kita buat something like this. But so far Mendeley I'm happy. So far when I use this one with my students, uh, I can speed up my writing lah very much, very significant timing. I can save a lot. Okay, because doing formatting is tiring and stressful. Okay, so Mendeley is helping you. Thank you to Mendeley. It helps a lot for researcher out there. Okay, and another thing that I want to share with you is about the web importer. Web importer is something like this. Mendeley, in Mendeley. So if you use a Google browser or Google Chrome as your browser, it's good that you have this Mendeley web importer. It saves a lot of times. Okay, so for instance, if you read a paper or even you Google a paper on that Google page, so if you have this one, Mendeley will do the job for you. Okay, so if you click this web importer button, and Mendeley found that, let's say, not only articles of the one that you found in the website, but also the references which is cited by that articles, Mendeley will detect that. Okay, so they will ask Mendeley, lambatlah keluar. If you click this one, Mendeley will ask you which articles you want to save. Okay, so kalau you dah save, then dia akan pergi ke list of your Mendeley desktop. Okay, so kalau you boleh practice on your own because tak keluar-keluar ni Mendeley importer. Okay. So you akan nampak something like this. Alright, and this is your account because when you use this one, you need to have your account. And now Mendeley is detecting all the references inside these articles. So it takes time untuk dia read lah. Tapi actually sebab kita buat this one online kan, so dia ambil masa lah. But if you do it, you and Mendeley alone with your PC, then it's super fast, very fast. You can easily get a list and then you tick. When you tick, you click add and it goes to your desktop. Sorry, I tak boleh nak tunjuk, dia lambat sangat ni. So, yeah, okay. So dia keluar macam ni lah. Alright. So dia akan detect or will find all the references inside the paper. And if you think the title is yummy or very relevant to you, you just click, for instance here, and you add. You click add. Okay. So Mendeley will do the syncing, and it will goes to both of your desktop reference manager as well of your they will go to your Mendeley reference manager. Okay, you can go up here. Recently added, for instance. So tadi I ada klik dua references. So yeah, so that two references will appear over here. Okay, that in your reference manager. And also if you look at your desktop, you can check, you click the sync button first. Okay, and you will see the two references that you tick just now in the Mendeley web importer. Yeah, these two articles, now it's already appear here. Okay, so that is the fantastic of using Mendeley that I love to use together with my students. I think that's all for my sharing session for today. Dr. Putri.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Fitrah, right? Okay, for the sharing information on how handling the references. Okay, so I think we can have our Q&A session. So students, if you have any questions, so you can ask or you can write down in the chat room so that I can read the questions for you. So I see, okay, we have one question. Okay, doctor, is there any tips in handling references? So we
Any
have
tips?
questions in handling references.
Uh, I think I already shared the tips just now using Mendeley. It's not.
Yes. So I think that if let's say some supervisors are familiar with Mendeley, they can proceed with that. If not, if let's say they have any other reference manager, so they can also use that, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
what is important is that you have to know how to manage your references. Betul tak, Dr. Fitrah?
Yes, correct. Actually, one thing is good about Mendeley is our library, PITA, they always offer a session or training using
Yes,
Mendeley. So
yes.
kalau normally my new students, kadang I tak sempat nak ajar diorang tips and tricks kan. So I ask them to register for the class by PITA and they will teach you every single detail of using Mendeley. Very extensive and very good lah so far.
Okay, there is a question. Is Mendeley free or need to subscribe for your time? Okay, Dr. Fitrah just answered just now. So she's mentioning about the library kan. Normally library ada share training on Mendeley.
Yes, it's
Okay.
free.
It's free, yes, it's free.
Free.
Any other questions?
As a UITM students, you should know that you also get free accounts of Microsoft 365.
Yes.
Yeah, and software like Mendeley. So utilize them to the maximum.
Okay. Any other questions? So that while Dr. Fitrah is here, so
Maybe I can show you how to use Scopus keywords metering if you
yes,
want.
yes, you may, Doctor.
Okay, so when you use a Scopus search engine, when I said about you know how to get into Scopus, use UITM PITA, easy access kan? You log in. Okay. Okay, you can either use Scopus or Science Direct. Both are awesome searching engine. Okay. So if you use Scopus, it covers more lah. Okay, it covers others than Elsevier publications. Okay. So what you can do is you go to advanced document search. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I think you still can use that keywords. Okay, so Yeah, this is what I mean by keywords metering. When you type your keywords like, sorry, I guna yang ada biasa. This is
Tak apa.
research. Electrospinning, maybe cardigan.
Okay, so while waiting for the page to download and so on, so I will read one question about the metering differs, about the keyword metering. So the question is, Doctor, how is keyword metering differs from that of snowball research technique?
Snowball, I'm not sure. Snowball, you use the same software? It's a method of searching juga eh. I'm not familiar with that because I'm very conventional. I'm sorry.
Yes, I am not familiar also with snowball research. So we have questions from Sharifah Zulia. If you want to ask a question, so you can on your microphone.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I'm very conventional person.
Me too. Me too, Dr. Fitrah. I'm not sure also what is snowball research technique. So can you give the details, Sharifah Zulia, Balkish?
Yeah, you can speak out.
Yes, please.
I also want to know.
So no response yet. Okay.
Okay, never mind.
All right.
Okay, so just now I use these keywords, electrospinning and carrageenan. So because when I search, I only find 18 documents. So not so much references because this is not many papers
Medium.
using carrageenan. Yeah. So what I have to do is I have to refine back my search. So I know that carrageenan is biopolymer. So I have to use the word maybe biopolymer instead of carrageenan. So I change. So this is what we call as keyword metering.
Yes.
So when you change the keywords, then you should expect, yeah, you get more documents. Okay, so from that biopolymer, then you can be more selective of choosing another keywords you want to reduce maybe into 200 papers. Okay, so normally to write a good review paper, good numbers would be around 100 to 150. Kalau you ask me about writing a good review paper. Okay. And same goes to proposal. Selalunya proposal kita tak expect lah sampai 100 references kan. Proposal ni is just we want to see your genuine idea, what is your objective, what is your methodology that you want to search looking for. So I must say kalau you write a research proposal, maybe dalam 50 should be enough kot, or less than 50 should be a reasonable numbers to write a research proposal. Even kita submit proposal untuk FRGS ke whatever, maximum I letak dalam 30 lah references. Okay, so untuk write a proposal, you don't have this much numbers. But it's good that you keep this track for your own references untuk future. Okay, always plan for your future.
There is a question regarding Microsoft Office 365. Okay, so the student says that how do we download it into PC? Because the Microsoft Office 365 given to student is in browser, as far as I know. I think this one they should use the UITM email, right, Dr. Fitrah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, if you go to your Microsoft 365, you would see something like this. Okay. Nampak tak I punya browser sekarang ni yang it shows this OneNote. So actually if you log in using your ISISWA, tapi sebelum tu you kena register dekat IT UiTM. So you register or you apply for password ke register your account, nanti dia akan bagi password. Then you log in, you akan dapat this kind of browser. And then you can click here, install Office to your laptop or desktop. Okay, so this is how it works in UiTM. So that's why we pay very expensive for this one, kan? So please use. So I guna macam-macam dah lah, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft kita kan biasa PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. It's a very good advantage. And as I mentioned just now, I make a Teams for my students meeting. Okay, so the layout will be something like this. So every time I meet with my students, I can record the meeting. So they can refer if in case they forgot what we discussed. Can. So it's also one source of platform lah. And then you can share your files dekat sini dengan your supervisors as I mentioned before. So this is one way of centralizing everything. In case kalau I would advise that every time you run data, you upload je semua dekat cloud sebab you never know what happened to your PC.
Yes.
Always have that attitude. Alright?
Betul. Okay, thank you. Anything else from the participants, students? Anything else you would like to ask or to share? Anything?
If you want to ask any question, you can reach me through LinkedIn as well. I rajin jugalah check LinkedIn tu kalau ada orang message ke apa. So if or you can connect me through my email, no problem.
So I think there is no questions in the chat room. Okay, so I think that's all for our session. Alright, but before we end our session, so let's take a photography session. Okay, so guys, please on your camera so that we can have the photography session for this session. Okay. So Dr. Fitrah, I think you can unshare your your screen first so that we can have one layout of the participants.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, another one. So the next page. Okay, everybody. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think that's all from for today. Thank you so much, everybody. Also, thank you so much, Dr. Fitrah, for willingly sharing your tips regarding the writing ethics, the reference management, and so on. Okay, so thank you so much. That's all from us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For those who have not signed the fill in the